Hello, welcome to Z Explains BG. We are watching the friends David and Albert play their 9 point match. They have a sort of a regular 9 point match, but they have a small bet on backgammonhub.com. We got David on the bottom, Albert on the top. David apparently is well. He's up 1-0, holding a 2 cube here. I think maybe he has a let's see, 6 off, which usually would like Albert has 6 checkers off, which usually wouldn't indicate no double, but he's got he's got the gaps on the 2 and the semi gap on the 1. So I don't know if Albert's really better off here than when he has like 5 checkers off and and all his checkers on the ace point, say. So I think maybe this is a pass now because I'm thinking Albert is sort of worse off than he is if he has like a bunch of checkers on the ace and 5 off, and that would be close take pass for money. In fact, David has a checker off and he has sort of perfect spare, so that's a point in David's favor also. The score I don't think is a huge deal. I mean, David's up a little in the match, which maybe means he should be like a little conservative. On the other hand, he's 8 away, offering a 4 cube. So Albert passes, and like David gets to like this comfortable 4 away. Sorry, Albert takes and loses, and David gets to a comfortable 4 away score. So that's sort of an argument for passing a little bit. So maybe those factors sort of even out a little bit. Oh, hey, Alex, good to see you. Yeah, I'm just watching Albert and David play there. It's just they play a 9 point match once in a while. For practice, for a lot of practice and a little bit of money on Backgammon Hub. So I just sort of watched. I thought I'd commentate a little bit. Okay, so Albert's 5-6. This looks pretty okay. Little bit of 2 duplication here. Okay, yeah, this looks fairly clear to me. 4-4. You double this for money. It's a pretty solid double. Actually, it's a pretty strong double for money. So you can argue it's a pass for money. So yeah, I would cube at the score. Okay, but yeah, he takes at the score partly due to the I think partly due to the score. So yeah, maybe that was good cube handling. When given that it's just a 2 point board, I mean David has a tremendous number of advantages. He's escaped a guy. He's got 10 in the zone. He's shooting at the guy in the outfield. So I guess I'm more sure about the cube, even at the score. But the take seems at least okay. Yeah, I actually probably would have taken also. Okay, so David's blitzing. I might go after him on the ace here because you want to go for the closeout, and Albert's board is so weak. So I might have played that. You might have played that a little bit more aggressively. It does put the 3rd checker up on the roof as opposed to the 2nd checker up on the roof, which tends to be a little less important. But still, maybe there was enough reason to do it. Like after David's play, he's just kind of hoping to go after him next turn, so maybe he goes after him now. Or maybe he should go after him now. Okay, so nice 3-3 by actually good for non-hit anyways. Okay, let's see if David. Let's see. Yeah, so offhand I say 8-5, 7-3 here. Just really try to pin black to this ace point game. Yeah, just like this. It's a little bit of risk here, and now that Albert's board is somewhat together, it still sort of seems like the best plan to me. There's actually a play that makes a 6 prime, I think. It's 13-9, 7. Yeah, 13-9, 8-5. Not that the 6 prime is that important here. This wins the most gammons. You could argue it does as good for the win as other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe you do it. Although yeah, I would probably do something like this, a double match point. But gammons and backgammons. Oh hey Paul, good to see you. Yeah, these are just my friends David and Albert's playing on a Backgammon Hub. Okay, so it does go with the 6 prime make and play. Interesting. It looked like he was overlooking it for a while, but he eventually saw it and decided he liked it. See, now that the 3 point stays open, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. I mean, I do think David's play is best for the win, but probably does give up on some gammons and backgammons. And I'm thinking it like doesn't do like overwhelmingly better for the win. But I don't know. I mean, maybe we should take a look at the computer analysis afterwards. See what the bot thinks. You know, Albert's board is still a little weak at that point. Hmm. So this is the 3-0 game. It was a 4-3. All right. Anyways, David seems to be cruising here. Then Albert gets a nice entry, and then okay, slots the 4, trying to make the point. He's thinking he's going to be hitting later. David finds his one safe play on the board. Okay, I assume Albert's going to make the 4 in some fashion. I mean, it only wastes a couple pips, so he's obviously thinking a little bit about the gammon save also. Oh, hey Farzan, good to see you. Can't watch your old live versions anymore for some reason. Oh, okay, so are you looking on Twitch or on YouTube? Like Twitch, I used to do it on Twitch, but I kind of switched to YouTube, so they should still be available on YouTube. Although, yeah, if they're not, let me know. Because yeah, Twitch. I stopped doing it on Twitch because they only keep the videos around for a couple weeks. YouTube is forever. 3-1, but I'll check on that too. I'll check on YouTube also. All right, 6-2. Good. Okay, Albert should be thinking pure gammon save here, so this is good. 6-1. Okay, doesn't waste any pips. Gotcha. Good to know. 5-2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you go to the 10 here, and you don't play like 5-3 or 4-2 or whatever. You obviously could go through the numbers and figure that out, but it'd be weird. It'd be weird, like if you just stay all the way back on the 12 there. So I think David played that well. I'm sorry, Albert played that well. 4-3. I usually do some sort of split and down play here, and there is some decent duplication. It looks exposed, but there's good 2 and some 6 duplication, I guess. So I think the computer likes this, or maybe the other split and down play, but I usually do this. Okay, 6-3. Okay, so David should be playing at the score. David should be playing a little conservatively. So this is okay. There's another play 18-9, which I often overlook. But obviously that leaves the backman a little stranded. So David's play is pretty reasonable. He probably saw it, and I somehow missed that play. Play 18-9, making the 9, or 18-10, making the 10 point. Somehow I have a blind spot there. Alrighty, I would do this in lieu of anything better. Okay, good shot by Albert, and then you keep the distribution nice in the outfield by playing to the 18 points. So that looks pretty decent. And then at the score, let's see, 7 away, 2 away. You could cube this if you wanted. I mean, it seems even at the score, it's a pretty easy take. But yeah, there certainly are some gammons floating around, so I can't really fault the double. And then maybe you should just kind of go for it here. Gammons only go one way now, so kind of like this play. Alright, he's got an okay safe play, which I would avail myself of. 6-6 is going to be almost forced. 5-5 is excellent. This is the plan David wants, just simple holding game, no gammons, no complications, just play safely as you can and roll big. This was sort of a quickie. Well, I guess we get to take a look at that 4-3 pretty soon. Jesus, David. . 6-1, make it interesting. 5-1. 6-1 for Albert. Probably slot the 3 here. This is okay. Still good builders. He's better for the race, actually. Not that there's a ton of race here. Although, kind of rooting for Albert to keep the match going a little bit. So it looked like a pretty decently played match from what I saw. I don't think I really strongly disagreed with anything. Sure, the computer will show us some stuff. All right, that was a lot of doubles there. All right, nice job, David. And let's see what yeah, decently played match. So let's go to XG mode and at least well, take a look at a few decisions. Yes, I want to open it. I didn't see the first game and a half though. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, let's analyze. Okay, let's put David on the bottom. And then this, okay, the play I was curious about was in the 3-0 game, the 4-3. Okay, looks like the computer's going to like the play. Yeah, this guy. Okay, I know. So David had the right idea there. So what am I missing? Okay, so David's play is pretty reasonable, right? He makes the 6 prime, which is, according to the computer, is best for the win. Oh, it's all okay. What I'm missing, I think, is it's almost as good for the gammon as going after him on the 3-point. I see. So this is David's play. He never gets hit, and he can still attack next turn. And the anchor, it gives white a chance to upgrade the anchor, but that's not necessarily a great thing for white. I mean, maybe he'll do it, maybe he won't, but it gets more like long-term contact from the ace point versus the 3-point anchor. This is sort of what I liked. We can put it up on the board. Going after him on the 3, but yeah, it is a little risky, I guess. All 3s in 1-1, and there's like a bunch of blots lying around everywhere. So I guess I can see this now. And for me, it's like, I don't know. I mean, black has the really strong board. White has like a weak board with a bunch of blots in the outfield. My gut always says, okay, attack, attack, attack. But yeah, no, David navigated that. David navigated that pretty well. Given that there's this other sort of productive and pretty gammonish play of making the 6 prime at no risk, you know. Anyways, why don't we go through this from the start. All right, 6-2, 3-1. Yeah, this is standard making the 5. It's fairly, so you can see it's fairly close. 8-7, 24-21. So I think if black rolled a 6-4 and did the same play, splitting down, then if you want, you can hit and split. Although there's the roll it has that is very close. But otherwise, you're just making the 5-point with the 3-1. Good. Yeah, he makes the okay. Yeah, David makes the 18 instead of the 5 because white's position is kind of together. He doesn't want to get batted around. And maybe he can make a good point next turn. Okay, computer just wants to sort of solid up here. Play both to the 8-point rather than go on this hitting adventure, sort of this unnecessary hitting adventure. Okay, I might have played 6-1 too, but usually I do that 6-1 because it's not a good point, but it's better than having a blot down there. I guess here it just doesn't matter that much because it's not like black's hitting next turn. I mean, white I guess has 1-2 blot numbers. You can roll a 6-1. Otherwise, Otherwise, he's never forced to leave a blot. So the computer goes right after the better board. Yeah, it's like white has the option. Say you do the right play. White has the option to leave shots in the outfield sometimes, but it's not worth a lot. Like I don't know, what are you leaving? What are you leaving the shot with? that like is like so much better than playing safely. 4-4-2 maybe. Maybe you can leave a shot with a 4-2 here, which you really wouldn't if you played 6-1. 13-4. Okay. Sort of a mutual holding thing. Oh yeah, he bolts off. Yeah, these plays are not. I mean, it's sort of the right idea a lot of the time to bolt off the anchor. It's not always obvious when it's right and when it's wrong. Here it is a little suspicious because of the race situation. He's looking at. I think what Dave is thinking is he's looking at White's two blots on the board and thinking, okay, this is a decent opportunity to do it. But I think because of the race situation, the upside is limited here. Right, you get away with it. You're running into like this holding game where you're only up in the race a little bit, and so you're not a big favorite there. Meanwhile, if Albert rolls a good hit and cover number, I'm saying like after David's play, rolls like 3-1, 3-5, 3-6, 3-3. He probably will hit with other stuff too, like 3-4. But yeah, Black's in trouble there. So it's like limited upside, big downside given the race situation. So that's probably how I would have found this. Found a safe play there. Right, like Albert's like it's a holding game where David's escaped everybody. The computer says Albert's winning. Like Albert's winning here because he's up in the race. So that just sort of underscores how questionable running there is. You're kind of running into a losing game sometimes when Albert misses with a big number. But anyways, David rolls big. And then I think he eventually cashes it in. Good. Yeah, similar, sort of a little bit similar here. Sort of unnecessary to leave the shots when the upside is somewhat limited. Yeah, White's board is sorted together. So you play like the beginner, 13-6, and actually 13-6 isn't bad. I mean, it's sort of an improvement in the position of the checkers because the distribution is so messed up here. Right, 7 and 5. Better to have 6 and 6 after the right play, and hitting twice strips the 8. But mostly it's just not worth the risk. Does get away with it for a turn. Yeah, he pays some extra shots here, which he shouldn't. He should just go 6-1, 6-2, leave minimal shots and hit White. Okay, 6-3 looks fine. Albert should double this. He does double this. White, yeah, he's about to lose his market huge on a good sequence. In other words, any hit and then non-hit by Black is going to be a big pass. Or he could roll some good, I don't know, 5-2. It's pretty decent, Black rolls badly, loses market that way maybe. So yeah, good double, good take. Great roll. Oh, is this where David hits a late shot? Yeah, I might do that too. What does the computer want to do? Yeah, what's wrong with Huh. I mean, it's very close, but Albert's play just looks so natural to me. Making the 7 point, it's a little risky, but the 7 point is pretty awesome, isn't it? Let's put it up on the board. It's a pretty valuable point. Apparently it's not quite worth the risk of Black rolling an ace or black attacking or hitting in the outfield. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually pretty sure I would have done this too. Let's see what the computer's play looks like. I mean, black's still attacking and hitting in the outfield sometimes. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Like, would you guys make that? So this is the original position. Would you guys make the 7 here? Or would you find the computer safe play here? Where you play like 9 to 6 or 11 to 5 or whatever? Because yeah, I would have probably made the 7, and then if like a Chouette partner disagreed with me, I would have like offered to bet on it, you know. All right, so 6-2. Okay, the 13. Okay, he's got to leave a shot somewhere, so he does. I guess he doesn't have to, but it's pretty. He's got one save play, but it's too sick. 8 to 6, 8 to 2. I mean, how is that really bad? No, it's not too bad, but it's pretty bad. You're gonna cause yourself more problems in the future, I guess, than if you just do something like what David did. Okay, 4-1. Nice hit by Albert. Nice hit by David. Nice hit by Albert. Nice hit by David. All right, he cleans things up here. Great shot. Great. Well, it's pretty tough here, but he's trying. He's trying. And it doesn't work. But he keeps a decent deuce point game. He wins 13% from here, apparently. I might have slotted the 2 here. It's pretty close. Slotting the 2, going 12 to 2 wins the most. Because you gotta need that point if you hit. But yeah, other stuff's better for saving the gammon. Yeah, okay, here he goes the other way. Computer just wants to go all out for the gammon save. David builds his board, keeps the anchor so he doesn't get attacked. Pretty reasonable. Okay, he does get the hit. Okay, so what is this? This is close. This is 9.95. So this is a take. Okay, I guess it's close. I guess it's a close pass for money given that White wins 21.5. But it's a little unclear because White's gonna get some good recubes in, bringing that to close on the take pass. So the score is a little bit of a deal probably. Let's actually save this and let's just take a quick look at what it is for money. Okay, so at the score is 0.95 and you can double it or not. Like the redouble take equity is 0.95. Which for the beginners, technically what that means, let's say you're playing a money game for $1 a point. And you see an equity like this, 0.9946 or 0.95, say, after redouble take. That means if the cube's on 1 in the middle, say, and you take it, and you get doubled and take it, what that means is you lose, in this game, you lose 95 cents on average if you're playing for $1 a point. So that means that's better than passing and losing $1, right? Playing for $1 a point. So that's why it's a take. Now, if you're getting redoubled to 4, you have to double those numbers. You can either lose 2, or you can take, and on average you lose twice of 0.95 or $1.90 or whatever. So that's essentially what these equity numbers mean. And then at the match score, it's sort of in the matches it's sort of similar, except in matches like the points are worth different amounts to each player, and there's like gammons that are worth different amounts. So it's a little more complicated, but that's still basically how you want to think about it. Anyway, so for money, for money it's closer to the take pass line, 0.99. I see. Okay, I thought this might be a pass, at least for money, because if you have, it's a good reference position to know. Let's say White had five checkers off, but he didn't have the gappy. He didn't have the gappy position. Like he does a speed board now. If he can get this checker home, this is a good reference position to know. This is like close-ish on the. This is a take, but it's like close-ish on the take pass. It's like over zero point 0.9, say. Yeah, 0.902. And actually, if the spares end up in good spots, you can actually make it a pass or very close to a pass. This actually might roll out to be a pass. No, not this. This. Yeah, it's very, very close to the take pass line. So this is a good reference position to know. Great spares. White has five checkers off and like a speed board. It's close on the take pass. So that's why I thought like in the reference in the match position, apparently like I mean this isn't. I guess this is worse. Yeah, no, I guess this is somewhat worse than the reference position when the spares are still in the outfield, when the spare checkers are still in the outfield, but it's not so much worse that it makes it like a real pass. I see. So actually, David probably handled the cube well there. He waited till he waited till he had good spares, and then he waited till he made like a little bit of progress before before cubing. So it might have been like a perfectly timed cube. Although maybe he was like a roll late. Yeah, here it wants to cube. Yeah, so here the spares ended up like pretty good. Pretty good spares. And like we looked at, White's a little worse off than in the reference position. Even though he has one more checker off. Because of the gappiness. So yeah, apparently this is a pass, and then it's like a real pass after he makes a little more progress. Like he got to bore off a checker and kept the spares in a good spot. So that's pretty good for black, you know. Oh, what's this? 6-4. Oh yeah, you can make two good points here. Or you can go on this hitting adventure that's not worth that much. Yeah, I think I probably would have gotten this one right if I looked at it. You're giving up. The hit. No, don't get me wrong. The hit's pretty good. You like to hit with the 4 here, but you're forgoing two like really excellent points to do it. Right? You're forgoing both the 18 and the 9 points. Yeah, for this hit that doesn't look all that great, right? Because now White can anchor a hit back pretty easily, and it leaves black backman a little stranded. So yeah, it is better to make the 2 points there. Like if it were just like 1 point you were forgoing, you'd hit, but you're forgoing like 2 points, 2 like good points. Oh, the cube action. Okay, yeah, the pass. It's still a pass even at the score. I think Albert was maybe looking at the score and thinking he has some license to take this, even though it's pretty powerful. Like I said, I might have taken it too, but yeah, I would have. It would have been pretty scary. Yeah, I mean the way you can find this maybe, despite the score, is if you realize it's just like a pretty big take. It's a pretty big pass for money, like a very big pass for money with all these advantages. Escape the guy, shooting at the blood in the outfield, 10 guys in the zone, ready to attack more. Like I don't know, what the hell? We can look at it what it is for money, right? So at the match score, it's what was it, almost 1.2. And it's almost 1.2 for money. At the match score for money it's a bit bigger. So maybe the score is just not the score just doesn't seem to be that big a deal there. Again, there's a little bit of four-away stuff going on. Um, 6 away, 9 away. If Albert takes and loses, um, David gets to this comfortable 4-away score. So I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Albert should take a little readily at the score because he's down. But the nuances of the score. There's some nuances of the score that counteract that a little bit. Sort of a countervailing factor. Yeah, see, like 5 away, 9 away is in fact a take. You know, 7 away, 9 away is a pass, but it's actually closer than 6 away, 9 away because of this, like, maybe it's not really a four-way thing. It's sort of an even away thing where the even away player is doubling. In other words, the player is doubling these an even number of points. That tends to be a little bit of an argument for passing. Because if you pass, you kind of now he's odd away, and that can be a little awkward to play from. Anyways, David tries to get out of there. Okay, so this is a 3-0 game. I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay, so what do you do? So you hit. Obviously you hit. I think you do make the 2, and then you play one more. Oh, so David plays 11 to 7, but he should play 13 to 9 because it's better builders for the open 5 point. Yeah, this looks a little thinner than the best play. Right. Okay. It is close. It is close. Yeah, I would have been just tempted to go after him here, just go full blitz. But it's a little awkward to hit off the ace here when there's no direct covers, and there's sort of this productive. I don't know. This is the productive non-hit play, and you're putting the third guy up on the roof, not the second guy up on the roof, which tends to be less importance. What about this? Do you hit here? Maybe there's more. What I'm thinking is maybe there's more argument for hitting here. No, I'm wrong. I got that backwards. It's still pretty close, but still the computer likes the positional thing. Well, the different positional play. Okay, this is the 3-0 game. Yeah, David navigated this fine. 6-3. Okay, he goes after him here. Although the computer wants to slot 2 points here on appeal. I don't know how many people are doing this, but because the 6 is kind of awkward if you do David's play, leaving 2 blocks in the outfield. The computer actually says, this is okay too, slotting the 3 point. In other words, you're always hitting with the 3 on the 5 and then 9 to 3 with the other one. And I don't think many people are doing that. Great when it works though. And then we talked about this 4-3. Good play by David. Okay, here the computer actually does want to go after him again. David's play is like consistent. Doesn't hit here. But I guess is the computer saying like this is now somewhat destructive to give up the points? And then the previous roll, the safe play was like pretty productive, making it 6 prime. Here. So you don't hit here because the play is productive. And then you do hit here because the safe play is sort of destructive. I think that might be what's going on. Let's sum up with 5s, for instance. Let's white out with 5s. Should be looking at Albert's errors too. Yeah, like here, yeah, it doesn't even want to upgrade the anchor to the 22. I mean, it's sort of clear to me that, like, if your only goal is to win the game, it'd be pretty clear to me to keep the 24-point anchor here. Pretty clear. Because you get more you're hugely down in the race, and you get way more long-term contact with the 24-point anchor than the 22-point anchor. The play wouldn't have been 1,000% clear to me, although I think I would have found it, because going 24 to 22 should save more gammons. But I guess the problem is it doesn't save like that many more gammons. Like you can still get attacked on the ace pretty easily here and lose a gammon that way. In fact, that is sort of what happens. Yeah. Good. Yeah, Albert builds his board, but doesn't waste too many pips for the gammon save. Sort of breaks his position a little bit. Thinking about the gammon, but the computer kind of wants to go all out for the win. Now these plays are tough. It's sort of hard to weigh small wins versus small difference in gammons. Okay, splits here for extra contacts. Once again, the computer wants to go more after building the board. Okay, David's with the 4-2 here. You could strip everything down, but then 4-3. I'm sorry, then yeah, you could make this play, keep things even. So 6-6 is safe, for instance. 5-5 is safe, for instance. 4-4 is safe. But you're not getting the checker off, and you got some double blot numbers like 6-3, 5-3, 4-4-1, 4-1, 3-1 are swing numbers also. So like in other words, those play safe after David's play. And 6-3 is only a single blot. What does the computer want to do here? Once again, the computer goes right after the win here, rather than running to save the gammon. Yeah, Albert's play does save more gammons, but I guess the computer's point is that David's position is so shoddy, Black's position is so shoddy, that it's worth that you're got a decent chance to hit. So the computer wants the board and not the gammon save play. Best way to save the gammon is to hit. Oh, and you hit more, I guess. Right, there's two vigs that the computers play. One, you get the nice board, and two, you're going to hit more because you're still split in the backfield. So, for instance, Black rolls 6-3. You make the computers play. Black rolls 6-3. You get a double shot, and your board's better. You make Albert's play. You're only getting a single shot, and your board is worse. So apparently, that's worth the fact that you don't run off the gammons as much without hitting. And the gammon comes home. Oh, 18-9. I wonder if David will actually overlook this like I sometimes overlook it. I'm not saying like, I mean, it's possible I would have seen 18-9 and made David's play also, getting the backman going. But no, the computer does like this, building the nice 9 points rather than stack awkwardly, get the 18-point out of it. I don't know. That does not look obvious to me in any way. All right, he makes the 5 here. Apparently that's a good play, but what's wrong with 13-9, 24-21? Like I might have done that. Oh, it's partly score based, I guess. Yeah, this doesn't win as many gammons by a good margin, and it loses fewer gammons. So at the score, Albert's play makes a lot of sense, where if white builds up a gammonish position, he gets to cube very aggressively, and if black builds up a gammonish position, black doesn't get to cube very aggressive. Black, it's going to be tough for black to get in a cube there. So yeah, for instance, like score reversed, I guess you do make the anchor. Right, so this is Albert's play at the score. You make the gammonish play, the mutually gammonish play. If the score was reversed, yeah, now it's clear to make the anchor in some fashion. All right, see that? And for money, maybe it's close. I don't know. Yeah, for money is close, but you do, just like computer does, slightly prefer making the anchor. So hopefully that's clear. I mean, that sort of thinking comes up a lot. It might be a little confusing because I've seen people make this mistake where, like, you look at like the gammon price for both players, like how valuable undoubled gammons are for both players, and like they're very valuable. Undoubled gammons are like very valuable for white here because he's two away. I'm sorry, for black here. Undoubled gammons are very valuable for black here because black is two away. Black needs 2 points to win the match. So an undoubled gammon puts him right at the score he needs to win the match. So that's pretty good. That's pretty valuable. So you might think, oh, black should play like gammon go and white should play gammon save. But no, because of this cube argument, where like, you want to cater your checker plays to your cube strategy in the opening. It's actually the opposite. White should be playing a little gammon go. In other words, making the gammonish plays, and black should be playing a little gammon save, making the non-gammonish plays out of the opening. So that's what tells the story of this 4-3 play, as we looked at. Yeah, 3-2. Yeah, this is good. 5-2, good. 3-2. Okay, he plays 8-6 safely, but doesn't. It's pretty sick, so computer doesn't mind 6-4 on stacking. Right? Obviously you enter with a 3 and then find a 2, or I guess you could slot the 5 if you want. But then the distribution is sort of weird, and the back checker's arguably in a worse place if you come in on the 23. So computer doesn't mind this, or David's playing safe. Again, at the score against the stronger board. David is playing safe. Yeah, double seemed okay. Yeah, it's fine at the score. You wouldn't double this. You wouldn't double this for money. But yeah, at this many away, 2 away score, you have a lot of reasons to be aggressive when there's gammons floating around. So we see how like Albert's 4-3 play sort of meshed with his cube strategy, right? Because he has the 5 point, turned into like a fairly gammonish position. It was 20% gammons from here. You can cube this at the score. Pretty decent cube, which does not work. Okay, David disengages, and then he just blows him away. That was pretty interesting. Yeah. So let's see the interesting plays. This 4-3 is particularly interesting to me, especially combined with the fact that the computer goes the other way on the next roll. Like it's sort of similar risk, right? Attacking here with the 4-3 versus attacking here with the 4-2. I guess there's maybe slightly less risk here. Because if you attack with the 4-3, you make the play I wanted to make. You're kind of leaving 3 blots in the outfield, which could come back and bite you. You attack here, you're only leaving 2 blots. But I think maybe the main point is like that the alternative is worse. The alternative is worse here than it is in the previous position. The alternative to hitting. Yeah, so that's sort of one way to think about these decisions, I guess. All right, well, that was interesting. Yeah, good match, guys. Decently played match. Yeah, and everyone else, thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. And yeah, we'll see you next time.